All right, in this video, I'm gonna go over one of, if not the most important variable with resistance band training to maximize results, also your equipment, alongside a honest review of a few products here. I'll talk about the Vector Athletics base pad. They have some new overload straps alongside their split squat. These are version 2s of these products. I'm also gonna cover some of the Serious Steel resistance bands, probably in a more detailed video if you guys wanna see that. But I'll be talking specifically about some of their 32-inch and also maybe the 37-inch resistance bands. Also got a hold, they sent me their 78-inch agility sprint band, which is actually pretty cool. I'll touch on this very briefly. All these things kind of carry over to the main point that I wanna make in this video. And that is the most important thing to get the results out of resistance band training. And honestly, I wasn't really following this myself and kind of learned this over the last 2 years. And that is maximizing the tension with the bands and or equipment that you're using. So when I first started resistance band training, yes, I would maybe go a little faster, then I went slower, then I realized it really wasn't a matter of going fast or slow, it was really finding that kind of ideal connection point. But the main important thing is finding that groove and tension within a given exercise. All that to say, I pretty much ditched the heavy resistance bands and I've skewed more towards the smaller, thinner diameter bands, and that's why you guys are seeing me really give some of these bands a second chance. So I got a bunch of new ones. Like I said, I'll cover this in future videos. I got some of their 12 inches, I got 32s, I got 37s. Of course, 41s are probably my best overall. That's what I generally say for me being 6 foot. And if it isn't obvious, and I forgot to mention, I'm actually talking about Serious Steel. Now, of course, there's many resistance band companies out there, but what I started actually doing and experimenting with was lower dimensions that I normally wouldn't play with. So specifically 32 inches is what you guys are seeing in this video. And I'm actually finding it pairs really nicely and ideal with the clenched carbon bar. I've covered this in past videos, check it out. I said in that video, one of the downsides about it is you have this extra kind of, extra length in the band. So I was talking about the X3 34 inches. Now I'm actually really digging the 32s. And then depending on the foot plate you're using, I'm using the clench in this video. You might see some shots of the new Serious Steel one. That can make or break the tension and difference. Now there are many personal preferences. I don't want to go into a deep dive in this, but I'll say the most important thing that I'd recommend for most people is find the dimensions that work for you. If you're a bigger, say wider person, a bigger foot plate is going to be more ideal. And then I think when it comes to resistance bands, for me personally, when it comes to Serious Steel, I think experiment with some of the smaller diameters. So I'm really liking kind of this purple, the blue, the reds. That's pretty much the gamut. You guys are seeing most of the colors here. I can go into a deeper dive with that, but the most important thing is, again, keeping that slack and tension throughout the range of motion. Now how this carries over to this video, maybe you're watching it for this reason, is Vector Athletics makes a number of products that helps kind of fine tune your experience. Now to be honest, as much as I am praising all this stuff, I will say some of these things are just not for me. They kind of slow down my workout. I feel like I can kind of finagle and get a position and a range of motion that works ideally for me. I got other tools here, but some of you guys are resistance band purists and some of you guys just prefer these exercises more than me. So that's why I think it makes sense, even though I personally might not utilize some of this equipment, some of you guys I know definitely would take advantage of it. So with that being said, I'm talking about this base platform. What this does, first obvious thing is it allows you, as you fold it out, there's also this little other mat that's adds another couple other options to it. It allows you to kind of do things like a lying bench press. I know that's a big thing for a lot of you guys. Personally, I didn't really like that positioning, to be honest. I think it's a little cumbersome to kind of get into, but that is just me. I know there's a lot of you guys who do take advantage of that exercise, and that's why Vector Athletics put this thing together. They gave me a bunch of specs on how they designed this. I will just say, to summarize everything, it's meant to be versatile. They have these high quality zippers where you can take these pads off and use them for multi-use things, not just in the gym. Various exercises, so you can kneel on them, you can stand on them to again dial in or dial up that tension on various exercises. You can sit on these things. Like I said, you can stack them on top of each other to increase kind of the length of what you're working with. I did find that some boards work better than others. So the Serious Steel, also the clench works. Definitely the Vector Athletics one does work as well. I found if they're a longer, flatter board, it might not be as ideal. The owner Max did go on to reiterate that he tried to find the best stitching possible. Has kind of a grippy surface at the bottom to help kind of maintain the grip for various things. Also the padding, I guess there's layers, and obviously you can spend more or less. He kind of went all out with the kind of the stuffing on the inside, so that's meant to be very dense and last you guys a long time, which it should be because this thing is kind of expensive. I know he did tell me this is why I'm gonna get this video out there. This is the last weekend, I believe, for the pre-order price, and it's gonna be kind of a full price. Shameless plug, I do have a discount code with them if you guys are curious. Very cool. I personally don't think I would use this that much just because of the time and the setup, but that is not to say I know a lot of you guys would take advantage of that. And that kind of goes with these other products. And I hate to kind of say this, but you guys know I kind of shoot from the hip here and I want to be as honest and straightforward. So even though I get a kickback on this stuff, guys, use my affiliate link, I'm just telling you how I personally would use or don't use stuff. Their squat belt is probably one of the best, no question. He did a version 2 on this. It is very functional. I think it is his best-selling product, so he made a version 2. I'll give you guys some close-up shots of this. All in all, just really beefed this thing up as far as the quality, the interior surface. It just feels much more stable, more higher quality, no question. The hooks are improved. You can also now have the numbering adjustments down here that he also uses on the overload straps. These are something you guys asked many times to cover. I've covered them briefly. He made a version 2 of these. Increase the numbering. You can see the little adjustments here. Quality is better, hook quality is better. Another great product that allows you to kind of get into ideal positions, increase tension, say for deep squats, overhead squatting. I've said before, I can get into the deep squat, no problem. I know a lot of you guys struggle with that. So for those of you guys that, again, are resistance band purists from one way or the other, you guys would really find these things very helpful. Again, these are accessories that for me, I can already take advantage of getting into these exercises. So the time it takes to kind of set these up, I just wouldn't use that. And also you guys know that when it comes to my workouts, I am using resistance bands in supplementing with other equipment here. So I just find other exercises are generally better than some of these exercises. All that to be said though, my favorite exercise, I've covered that in past videos, overhead presses, curls, tricep extensions, basic presses, bent over rows. I do find that at the end of the day, the tension is the most important thing, and you might be surprised that if you can find tools like this to dial up or dial down the tension, also band lengths and distances, that's gonna make a huge difference versus just settling for one simple thing. And then I'll wrap up and just say this final point. What is great, I think, about resistance bands is their portability, their versatility, of course, their ease of entry, and they don't take up a lot of space. And for some people, all these extra accessories might be a little too overkill. It really comes down to the person. So really just think about if this is gonna be worth it to you to pick these things up. End of the day, the main message I want to emphasize, regardless if you're using accessories or not, is to really find that tension, adjust the grips. I mentioned that in a previous video. I'll link it up here and also in the description box. Find the grips to really maximize tension so that whenever you're doing exercise, you're not grinding out or getting any kind of sticking points. It operates nice and smooth throughout that range of motion so you can really feel and focus on the muscle that you want to work in that workout. That's it, you guys. I will see you in the next video.